Is it
Hang
behind?
on one
You
second.
guys are late. It usually gets me.
There we go. Okay, we're recording now, so we're good. I'm excited. We have some people jumping on that haven't been on a few Zoom meetings, so this is exciting stuff. Even old neighbor Brett, look at him. He snuck in.
He's not exactly sneaking in, and you're going to call him out. Just saw a note from Kim Clayton. What was that, Kim? Are you selling puppies? Is that what's going on?
Reaction puppies. It's gonna be a new breed.
Yep, very calm, no barking.
Yep.
That must be Kim now.
No, it's Melody.
Oh, it's Melody. Okay,
I don't know if she's always laughing with us or at us, Jeff, but it's all right.
You never know. All right, Billy, it's about 8:04. Why don't we get started here?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with this. We have a pet line now, so everybody should have got emails, texts, calls, messages, anything. It should have been posted out there for everyone to take advantage of and definitely check out. That went live today. So that is available in your back office underneath library. It'll say pet products. I believe it says, what's the exact words that it says on there, Jeff? You help me with that.
You mean the pet line?
Yeah, but it says something about pet line, something. Application or information or something to do with the pet line. So on there, it tells you about all the products. It explains what they are, how they work. Very informational. So that is definitely for us to use to our advantage when sharing these products with potential customers and ambassadors. I do believe in my heart that this is the biggest thing that we've launched yet. It's a true fact that people care more about their pets than they do for themselves.
Oh yeah, yes, Billy, yes. I've been saying it all day.
All right, Ryan, hang on one sec. So it is, as you can see from Ryan, it's exciting, and this is something that is so amazing. The products work well on me. They work really well on Cooper. Like I said earlier, if he could talk, they calm him down so much. So now we have a variety of different products. Before I was just using standard products on him. Now we have stuff that's actually designed for him. That's pretty exciting. So before we go any further, I want to introduce Jeff. As always, welcome him once again. I say this every week, but he's been amazing. So Jeff Arbaugh, welcome back, buddy. I'll let you take the stage here.
Well, thanks. Just want to say hi to everybody, and I know how busy everybody is, so I just want to again really say thanks for carving out some time and joining us. Couple of quick updates. Billy just told you about the pet line. I think we were all excited about that, and we are. I've received a number of texts and emails today about those. So yeah, that's pretty good stuff. As far as some of the back office stuff, we I think probably are just a couple of days away from having that information packet that we talked about last week, which is essentially a 5-page PDF, which has one sheet about the science, of the body, the science of the product, frequently asked questions, and all that kind of stuff. So when somebody says to you, you know what, why don't you send me something? This doesn't answer every question, and certainly doesn't go into the business a whole lot, but it is an introduction to the product, and hopefully it will start a conversation. So those things are on the way, and the videos, I think the first couple of them are real close as well. So I wanted to give everybody an update. The topic that we kind of threw out in the email to everybody was something I call the art of conversation, and it goes much deeper than that, than just that sentence. I'm not going to focus tonight on the product. I know we've talked about the product. We've dedicated an entire Zoom to, really understanding as ambassadors that what we have here is really something to be proud of. It's top of the line. It's the best product out there. We've tried to explain some of the science as to why we think it makes us the best part out there. So we're just going to kind of, take a leap here and all agree that we have something really, really wonderful. I do know that some of the challenges that we face, guys, is it's kind of the elephant in the room. We are still so brand new with this. I mean, and some of you have been with us for 3 or 4 months now. Some have just joined in the last couple of weeks. I don't know if anybody knows the kind of history of some of the other larger companies out there, Market Americas of the world, or Rodan and Fields and other companies like that. They didn't start in 3 months. They didn't have 100,000 members in the first 6 months. It took them several years to build their line, but look at how solid they are now in terms of an organization. That's what we are working toward every day. I know it's a challenge for you guys because we're out there now in a space that very few people know about. I think they say, what, 3% of everybody in the United States, 3% know about the CBD space, I'll call it that. So you've got a very small group of people that know about that, and even way less than that know anything about Reaction. So that's a natural challenge. Let's just kind of admit that and figure out how we're going to get over these hurdles together. Again, the art of conversation. Conversation, I think, is defined as an interaction between 2 or more people in which thoughts, ideas, and feelings are shared. So there's 2 kinds of conversations I want to talk about tonight. One is the conversation that comes with introducing yourself and introducing the product, the business opportunity to other people. I think we have to start addressing this for you guys, because I get that question more than anything else. Hey, I'm struggling to get my 2 people. I don't know how to do it, etc. Now, one thing that we all know, there's more than one way to do this. There's not just one way. We had this conversation in the office the other day with Billy. Billy, I don't know how many people he's signed up, but he's done an absolutely great job of taking this to the streets, as it were, and signing a lot of people up. Frankly, I don't know how he does it because it's not my approach, and clearly it's working for him. So the disclaimer here is finding something that works for you. So there might be something that works for Billy that doesn't necessarily work for me, and then that extends to all of you as well. So it's really finding something that works for you. Keeping in mind that a conversation is an interactive exchange. Conversation does not necessarily mean just verbal. It doesn't mean just commenting on Facebook to somebody who says, hey, I'm having headaches, and then pouncing on them and saying, hey, I have something for you. Conversation is an ongoing exchange. Back in I use this example all the time. Back in the days when we were still, running around in caves and wearing animal furs, the ability to hunt was very, very important. And what would happen is the best hunters, brought back the biggest buffalo. If you weren't a very good hunter, what do you think happened? Billy said the other day, well, you die. I'm like, well, that's a little harsh when applied to our situation. But what happens is, if what you're doing is not working, the ability to change your hunting techniques, to look at other ways that you can succeed. And that's what this conversation is about tonight with all of you, is let's look at what you're doing. Let's look at what's working or what's not working, and maybe even change our perspectives here as far as how we engage in conversation. I don't know how many people have done this, and I will say, if somebody's goal is to pay for their product, then I think they'll get value out of this, but it's not my focus tonight. That's not who I'm focusing on, because I think you can pay for your product and make a little bit of money without really dedicating yourself to creating a business. However, for those that are on the call tonight, myself, Billy, and others who want to look at the bigger picture here and understand what's possible, there are some other techniques that we have to employ. I don't know who does this, but I have a lot more time on my hands probably than some of you or most of you. And so I spend a tremendous amount of time researching, Googling, exploring. And one of the things I did over the last week to help me better understand how to help other people is by basically Googling the term network marketing success. How to create success with network marketing. I do believe that there's power in face-to-face, obviously. I believe there's power in getting people together for presentations, if you can in fact do that. I know Lindy, for instance, and Billy, they have a wide circle of friends who are very available and interested in coming to the shop first Wednesday of every month and participating. Some of my friends they're scattered around. I have people in different parts of the city and different parts of the country that either can't or for some reason are unable to come to a presentation. Creating different ways of generating a conversation, because that's where I think it all starts. The one thing when watching the videos by the various gurus out there is to understand some of the techniques that are being used. And I encourage everybody to do this. If you have some time and you're sitting around at night, instead of turning on the TV, Google it, watch some of these videos, because it's very, very helpful information. I know I've talked about the importance of being product-centric in the past. In other words, I don't initially talk to people about the business and how successful you can be. I believe you have to have a personal experience with the product, and you have to believe in the product. I learned something else this past week, which goes beyond the product. Let's just agree. We've got a great product. So how is it that we engage people? First thing is that approaching just our friends and family is only going to take us so far. And as I said, I'd be interested to know what the stats are as far as how many friends and family actually get involved in multi-level marketing endeavors, because I think it's probably way less than you would think. So who are the people that you're trying to reach? In my trade show business, I always said there's people out there that are looking for me. It's my job to help them find me. There's a lot of different things you can do. We've got a member, of course, that we've talked about quite a bit, who is very diligent with doing Facebook Lives twice a week. You've also got the ability to set up your own Zoom conferences for people. There's different ways to get things out. There's a bunch of stuff with the power of Facebook now, with Facebook messaging and things like that. I think they are trying to improve their ability to do business over the platform. And if you just Google that, you can look at some of the ways to do that. Again, this requires an investment of time, but it's designed to create a conversation. Some of the most successful people that are doing these things using social media, they don't even talk about the product initially. They don't talk about the business, certainly. What they do is they present themselves in a way that opens the relationship up to a dialogue, even if that's not verbal. You can explore and Google some of the ways that you can do that. Some of them basically represent lifestyles. For instance, if you can define what it is that you want, let's say what you want is more time with your family. Let's say you want to create a residual or a passive income. How do you do that? And so in the film world, you're always taught that if you can show it, you don't say it. So instead of saying, hey, I've got plenty of time to spend with my family, what you do is you show an image of that. So some of these people, some of these very savvy marketers actually use images that represent what it is that we're all trying to achieve. I'm not one for the mansions and Rolls Royces, but I do believe in starting with being personable and engaging in a conversation, and that's where that happens. I encourage all of you to Google with some of your spare time some of the techniques that are used to become more successful at this, because I think where the frustration is coming from is when we get involved in this, the first thing we do is think, okay, friends and family, who's going to do this? Who's going to do this? I got friends, like I said, some of them that I wouldn't let go until they said, let's try this. I've got other friends that have said, no, not interested. My one story to Billy months ago was, hey, did you hear about that guy that approached one of his friends with this opportunity? And they said no. And I asked Billy, said, do you know what happened? Billy said, what? I said, nothing. So, that's going to happen. But I think to create a success, we need to start thinking outside the box a little bit. There's so many tools available, and they're not hard. They're not hard to learn how to use. So that's the conversation that I'm talking about starting. Conversation about them. It's not about the business. It's not about our product. It's not about kind of, jumping down your throat. One of the things, and I hate using the word sales, but I'm going to use it tonight a little bit because we're talking about something very business oriented. One of the things in sales is to identify a problem that a potential client, customer, or ambassador might have that you can help solve. And in this case, it could be one of a couple of things. Their problem may be health related. They may have a situation or a condition that you may know about or that you might not know about. So to find out what that condition is, and do we think that this product can help? And in a lot of cases, the answer is yes. So you find out, what that condition might be. The next one might be, there are people, again, looking for a passive or residual income. And we're going to get into that in a second here too. But there are people that are looking for that. There are people that literally, an extra $300 a month means a lot. An extra $600 a month, that's a car payment. An extra $1,000 a month. So if that's what they're looking for, how do we help them achieve that? That's the root of conversation. There's a gazillion memes on the internet about people who talk too much. Said the man conducting the Zooms every week. But listening before you respond is a very important component of this. Just to recap so far, Google, check out Facebook, check out some of the other social media platforms, and figure out how you can get the people that are looking for you to come to you. And here's the secret. I don't think it's your friends, and I don't think it's your family. So who are the other people? And conversations can start at the grocery store. I've had a couple of situations where I've gotten into a conversation with somebody, and it just naturally leads to this. So that's the first thing. Google some of the techniques that might be available to us, and I might even do a Zoom on a couple of those techniques and get into more detail if anybody's interested. So the next conversation I want to have, or encourage you to have, is a conversation with yourself. We talk nearly every day, Billy and Candace and I, and we sit in the office and we are obsessed with doing what we can to give you the tools and the resources needed to succeed. One of the things that I think sounds kind of trite, but I think it's important. I think it's important in life. I think it's important in business. And I think it's important, with Endeavor in this. And that is setting some goals. I have a saying about opportunity that all successful people have two things in common. Number one, recognizing opportunity. And number two, knowing what to do with it. With something like this, it comes down to recognizing the opportunity, certainly. You've all made the decision, or most of you have made the decision to jump in. The next question you have to ask yourself is, what are you willing to do? Again, if all you're trying to do is create enough of a situation to where you can pay for your product, that's fine. But if we're talking about business and building a business, I think it's really important to identify your goals. And you can have daily goals, you can have weekly goals, you can have monthly goals. And sure, you're not going to hit them all. I believe in having some pie in the sky goals. Billy has a picture of his yacht on, well, not his yacht, it's not his yet, but he's got a picture of a yacht. And I don't know if you guys have heard about vision boards and things like this, and if any of you follow the law of attraction and things. And I think I mentioned this in a previous Zoom. I believe in the law of attraction, but I don't think that thinking about money brings money to you. I think if you kind of put that out there, and that's part of the energy you put out in the universe, I think what the universe will bring to you, and I hope I'm not sounding too kooky here, I think what it will bring to you is opportunities. And they might not look the way you think that they're going to look. They might come in different ways. So setting goals is very, very important. And I don't think the goals are necessarily, I want to sign up 2 people today or 4 people today. I think that's a byproduct of setting a goal and executing that. So your goal might be more about introducing somebody to the product, introducing somebody to the opportunity. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to talk about some acting terms tonight. I kind of ran over this with Billy and Candace the other day in the office, saying I'm not sure I'm going to bore people here, but I said I might even throw a soap opera look in. Anyway, that's my soap opera look. That's my look of concern. Anyway, in acting, every actor, if they're dealing with the overall arc of a character, or if they're dealing with breaking down a scene, it doesn't matter whether you're doing film or whether you're doing stage. Every actor's preparation involves identifying, and there's different words for this, their motivation as a character. And it could be called motivation, it could be called intention, it could be called objective, it could be called a fighting for. A lot of different acting teachers, had different ways of communicating and just to kind of put their own personal brand on it. But what a motivation is, or an intention, is what are you trying to accomplish within the course of a scene. Now, some motives are more apparent than others. For instance, the example I used in the office the other day was if there was a scene and my goal was to get somebody to leave the room, as an example, how do I go about doing that within the context of the words that I've been given and my relationship to the other character? Well, if I'm bigger than the other character, I could literally pick them up and take them out and slam the door. That, however, is not very interesting to watch. So if it was that easy, nobody would want to watch it. So to find different ways to achieve what you want is important. And I hope I'm bringing this full circle for everybody. It is really, really important, I think, to understand what you want out of this. And are you going to do what is necessary to achieve those goals? I honestly believe, and I've changed the direction of my life over the last 3 months to pursue this, but I honestly believe that for all of you, whatever goal it is that you want to set with this, it is achievable. It is very achievable. So whether you're talking about Billy owning a yacht, or somebody saying, I just want to make $600 a month, an extra $600 a month, there's ways to do that. So we have to, number one, break down, how do we do that? And then, how are we going to make it happen? What are we willing to do? So are you willing to Google, like I suggested tonight? Are you willing to learn different techniques? For instance, Billy is a master at signing up. Anybody has direct access to Billy basically 24/7 to ask him for help. And again, you might not have the same approach that Billy does, but you might learn one or two things in there that might help you with people. Because I know people are struggling when they've exhausted. Some people have wider circles of friends. Some people have 5 people. Some people have 100. And when you exhaust those people, what are you willing to do? Are you going to say, well, I didn't bring back a buffalo. My people aren't going to eat. The one thing that we all have in common, well, 2 things. Number one is I think we have a desire to help others, and I think that's highly important. The other thing is we all have an entrepreneurial spirit, or we wouldn't be here. Now, what an entrepreneur is somebody who puts in the work with hopes of getting a bigger payday at the end, as opposed to somebody who goes into an office and works 8 hours a day. So we're all tasked with that. And we've all said, listen, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in the work. I think some of us, the question is not whether we're willing to do it, but we just don't know what to do or how to do it. Again, there's no one way. There's a lot of tools, and we'll be getting into this a little bit deeper. And that's my obsession. I've been less focused on building my business, and have been more focused on helping other people create successes. And that there's great satisfaction in that for me. I did want to just also point out the difference between different types of income, because I think that's important too. I think probably all of us that are interested in building the business have a desire to create residual or passive income. And the way those things are defined is passive income is income that you get for essentially no ongoing daily work maintenance. It's if you buy a building, for instance, you will get rent from that building without really doing a whole lot to get that rent. Of course, there's maintenance and all that kind of stuff that you're paying for, and that goes into it. But as far as the work, you don't really have to do that. So this is the opportunity to create what's called passive income, where you do the work and you build the foundation, and then essentially the income that you will get will be ongoing. I said to Billy the other day, the difference between a regular income and a passive income is if you work for a company and you don't go to work tomorrow, you don't get paid. Building a foundation where you create passive income for yourself, you can go to the beach for a week and you can still get paid if your foundation is built. Residual income is income where you do the work once. It's kind of like passive income, except for residual income is a phrase they use to describe the money that's left over. So after you pay your monthly simple ship, if you want to build your household expenses in that, are you creating that income? All of that is entirely achievable. I'm encouraging everybody to reach out for help, reach out for assistance, reach out to me, reach out to Billy. Don't get discouraged. Let's just figure out a new way for you all to hunt, if that makes sense. And again, I do believe that at the core of this is the ability to engage in conversation with people. And if it's an ongoing exposure, an ongoing engagement, people that the right people will come to you. I really do believe that. But at the end of the day, when we put our heads on our pillow, we have to ask ourselves, did we do everything today that we could to be better than we were yesterday, or be further along, or to be a success? My thought is I'm not going to beat anybody up. I have lazy days where I don't do a damn thing, to be honest with you, but I don't beat myself up at the end of the day. So for those of you that are struggling, that are frustrated, reach out. Let's get this going. Even if it's a case of figuring out what it is that where are you stumbling? Is it you don't know who to talk to? You don't know how to talk to them? You don't know what information to present, how to present it, etc. We're still early enough, and I'm telling you that I'm dedicated, as is the entire management team, to again finding out the things that we're struggling with, and let's figure out a way to, like I said, help you all find a new way to hunt, so we can all bring back the big buffalo. Anyway, Billy, you have anything to add there?
Yeah, I want to touch on something. So you were talking about, family, and I want to kind of elaborate on that a little bit. Family is one of the 7 deadly sins of network marketing. It's one of the seven deadly sins is to pressure your family so hard to where you burn a bridge. And that is very possible to do with a company that's built this way. However, my personal feelings on this, we're working with something that's very different, unique, and life-changing. So when it comes to the family approach, your family's who believes in you no matter what, right? Go to them with more of the approach, not trying to sign them up to make money off your family. Go to them with, hey, mom, dad, sisters, cousins, brothers, I want you to try these products and build a testimonial off people that are close to you. If you get them to sign up as an ambassador, it's not because you want them to sign up for the top package and make you $1 million today. It's because, hey, I want to build a testimonial off my aunt with Parkinson's or people in my life, to that matter. That's the biggest thing that I can kind of encourage people. Don't pound on your family to sign up to make you rich tomorrow, but use them as a testimonial that'll build you so much statistics and so many testimonials that you can share with people moving forward. Something that truly does mean a lot to you. I know a lot of you guys have seen what I've done with this from the beginning, and it all started with my stepdad and my aunt with Parkinson's, people that have been very close to me in my life, obviously, but have experienced such amazing results from these products. That's what's drove me harder than anything, harder than any yacht that I could ever want, or big houses, or big things. It's success with my family, people that I love and care about. So I just want you guys to think about that and think about ways. Obviously, as an ambassador, I mentioned it, 25% off on your products. That is a good thing to be able to share with your family. So just, if you have any more questions on that side of it, I don't want to hang you guys up all night. Maybe this is something me and Jeff could talk about more, different approaches for you guys. But I just want to add that to this. And again, the approach to it. And we can elaborate on this maybe next week as well. But generally, a company like this, you spend the entire first year learning. And when we say learning, that's falling down. And like Jeff said, the story about signing his friend up, and he said no. you're going to learn different techniques. You're going to try things. You're going to fall down. You're going to get up, dust yourself off. But at the end of the day, all you have to do is believe. So that's the first year. The second year, you work on earning. Work on earning money the second year, okay? There's people in this company that have made bundles of money. And there's some people that are just right now starting to climb that mountain. We're 4 months in, guys. So just keep that in mind. And then the third year in business, you're working on building weekly residual income. Okay, we've already jumped over the top of that. A lot of people have. And if you haven't, I want you to jump on our backs and come along, and we'll take you right up the mountain. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be shy, discouraged. There's people that, you know, the sign-up rate that I've had has been amazing. And there has been a few people that have jumped out. I think it's more because they didn't believe in themselves and what they could do. So I want everyone to know that with me, Jeff, all the ambassadors that are on here, there's so many amazing people that have signed up to join this journey in this company. Just reach out. Before you ever think about getting down or out, just pick up the phone, give somebody a call. And maybe that person that you call is not the right person. Try again. So that's kind of the approach to that. I want to share something, and Jeff, yell at me if I'm off the subject here a little bit, but
Oh my God,
today,
Billy! Oh, you meant later?
Yeah. So today I was working on signing somebody up and telling them about the different packages, and they could tell from my excitement in my voice. Okay, I told them about the top package and the benefits to signing up for it. They're like, don't you think that $1,299 is a bit expensive? And my response was, don't you think $1,299 for a business that's going to wheel down for 7 generations, you become your own entrepreneur, is a pretty good deal? And he's like, you know, I never thought about it that way. That's the way I look at this. This is a business that we just fired up, and it's exciting. So no matter what happens, the main reason I want to share that is just think about things that you can say to twist that back on them, and don't ever let nobody knock you down. So I wanna jump in here. I know normally we'd go into the Q&A time right now, but I think while I'm excited and fired up, I don't know why.
And Billy, before you go on,
Yeah.
just in closing, you brought up something that triggered a thought, which is, yeah, this is not a challenge to you for us. This is not a challenge because you're helping the people above you. I'm helping people every day that aren't even close to me in the tree, which I'm glad to do. This is about kind of, like you said, believing in yourself and kind of challenging yourself. Again, the opportunity is here for everybody. We've got the best product on the market. And, you know, it's one thing to get discouraged. It's another thing to get kind of sullen and withdrawn. So I encourage all of you to say, you know what? Okay, today didn't happen. Tomorrow, what's different? And it's really a challenge to yourself. And I do think it's going to sound like a funny story. I had no idea that I was going to talk about this, but you guys see flowers behind me, and it's a goofy little thing that I have where 7 months ago, I started buying fresh flowers for my apartment. And the reason I did that, because I like having something living and live, and I like plants, and I like flowers. And I realized it was just a little way that I could be nice to myself, if that makes sense. So my point is, be nice to yourselves, believe in yourselves, and reach out for help. And anyway, all right, that's it.
I like that story. I'm gonna buy you some flowers.
Yep. Time for that soap opera look.
All right. So Jeff, do you agree with going into the testimonial part now? I think that's
yes, I did want to announce that for those of you that hang on to the end of the call, we are doing another giveaway tonight. Woohoo! We're giving away, I think, a T-shirt and a license plate again. So hang in there. I know, Billy, we've got a really, really important testimony. We're gonna get to that now. We're gonna go into Q&A.
Let's do the testimonials. Let's get some people to share some exciting news and great updates on what this stuff's doing for them. And then we'll save the Q&A. If you have any questions, go ahead and write them in the chat bar if you just can't wait. We'll get to you as soon as possible. So the person that I'm gonna bring up here next to talk is the first person that believed in me. Really good friend of mine. I consider him to be one of my best friends. It's someone that I talk to every day. And when I approached him with Reaction and his family, he had no idea what we were even getting into. But I told him what he was about to spend and how this is going to work. And he came along for the journey, and it's really changed his life. That's an amazing story right there. So Jonathan, this is Jonathan Lewis. Jonathan and Brandy Lewis are huge ambassadors with Reaction. So Jonathan, thank you for joining us, buddy.
Hey, Billy. Can you
How
hear
are
me?
you? Yep.
Yep, I really enjoyed your information there, and I try to download it all and maybe watch it later on if I can somehow. But a lot of information. Yeah, I appreciate what you guys do every week, and it's a big inspiration to us to try to get our groups going, like you approached me about. We being a little lazy, or just been busy, or school, whatever. Our life's getting away, but it's been a great journey so far. For those you don't know, last year I go to Horner Days shop about once a week, and my son's car gets worked on, and this, that, and the other, and we all race together. And great, wonderful family. They're I consider them family now. They're the type of family that need somewhere to stay. They don't want you to get a hotel room. They want you to stay with them. But anyways, I become sick and just started feeling really bad. And long story short, I found out after I got really sick, I had got diagnosed with a rare liver disease called PSC. And for you who don't know what that is, your bile ducts get clogged up and can become cancerous, and you get bile duct blockages. Famous people like Chris Ledoux passed away with bile duct cancer. A close friend of mine passed away with bile duct cancer. It's a really hard cancer to detect when it happens. So I go to Mayo Clinic every 6 months now to get checked for my bile ducts, see how they're doing. So Billy approached me about taking Reaction products 6 months ago, and we've gone as far as my son Landon is 13, takes the products. My daughter Lily, 7 years old, takes the products. My father takes the products now for various reasons. But about me is maybe my wife Brandy helped me explain it a little better than I can. But my test results came back this week with phenomenal results. They said, what have you been doing? Continue to do it. The scores are half what they were before, meaning that my bile ducts are working better. I'm not cured. It's a disease. Ultimately, it can lead to cirrhosis of the liver and to a transplant. I'm not on a transplant list, just that. But they said that, and I asked them about different things. They said, well, we get questions daily about CBD products at the Mayo Clinic. And they said that it's a big topic right now. It's a big topic around the world, around the country, about CBD products and what's going on. And I think a lot of people don't realize what's going on is that it's been discovered again. You watch that movie on Netflix, We the People. You get a chance to check it out. It said 3,000. What was the 3,000 years of medicine and 80 years outlawed, basically. So let's wake up. I mean, it's a real medicine that really works. I can give my testimony and tell you how it's helped me, help my family, help my father, pretty much everybody. I think it's our responsibility to tell our friends and family about it and forget about the money part of it. The money part, it comes secondary. I think the first part is how much it's helping people from ADHD to blood pressure to my disease. And like Candace told me, and I have read, this don't fix you. It tells your brain how to fix itself. It tells your body how to fix itself, how to repair itself. That's one thing I think is very powerful to me, because it triggers things in your body to start repairing itself with things we don't get now. We eat McDonald's, eat KFC. Look how much bigger we are now than what we were 100 years ago. There's things going on in the world that we don't realize, and this medicine really helps out a lot. So, Brandy, you want to add to what the results were better than I can? Or
So 6 months ago, when we went and had his blood work done, his liver enzymes were about 350. In last year this time, he was around 900. So when we went back in March, he was around 350. So we started the Reaction. He was taking it every day. And when we went back this past week, his liver enzymes were down to 115. All of his inflammation test results, all those were down by 40%. And they told us, we talked to him a little bit about it, and Mayo Clinic, they have a zero tolerance. But she said, whatever you're doing, continue to do it. I can't tell you not to, I can't tell you to, but, she just said that it's helping, and,
It's a big topic.
It's a really big topic at the Mayo Clinic, and she's hoping that one day it'll be legal for everybody and everybody can take, because there's some that can't because of drug testing and this, that, and the other. But I mean, we were just amazed that within 6 months his liver enzymes are down by half. And it's power of prayer and the reaction, and that's all that he's done different. I mean, he's living every day just like normal, eating and, the stress of everything and doing good. But, he's had a really good 6 months, and we really believe that it's the reaction products that has helped him be able to live the fullest that he's got this past 6 months, because they've been busy for us.
Yeah. Yeah, Jonathan and Brandy, this is Jeff. I've never met you, but of course I've heard all about you. So, so I heard the news yesterday, and I literally sat with Candace in the office yesterday, and I know you posted, but you left out some stuff in that post. You were almost you kind of glossed over how serious your situation is, and so to see Candace sitting there telling me this story with tears in her eyes, that's kind of what this is all about. I wanted, you triggered something here. What I say to people is, don't make up other people's mind for them, meaning there are friends that you're not approaching. There are people you're not talking about this with, but you never know who's dealing with something. As an example, the woman who, I won't call her a maid, she comes and cleans my apartment every month because I'm a dude and I'm kind of a slob. But she comes, and of course she's been seeing all my jars and pills and all the stuff. And I said, pardon me for all this stuff. And I said, have you ever heard of anything like CBD or FSE? And she says, no. Got into a conversation, and turns out that her mother is dealing with some pretty severe vertigo. And she said, does it help vertigo? And I said, hang on, let me see. And I looked it up, and of course there have been case studies done where people have actually treated. So when you have people, Jonathan, on a daily basis, your situation was rather severe. There are other people that are dealing with things that we don't know about. And when we make the decision to not approach somebody or not share it, we're basically making the decision for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So don't make decisions for everybody. Our job is to share this, and the number of people who are dealing with things. And as you said, the important thing about the product, it doesn't cure anything. It doesn't even treat anything. It allows your body to do what it's designed to do, which is regulate and heal itself. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for sharing your story, both of you. Really,
thanks for all you do too, and I thank you for your good testimony. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks so much, Jonathan. We'll look forward to more good news from you, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that really brings me on to something that is very important. There's a lot of people that I approach with reaction, and they're like, I just don't have any ailments. I'm just really good. This is 2019, people. Like Jonathan mentioned, the more cheeseburgers we eat and Taco Bell tacos, there's issues that are going to happen. So a lot of this is preventative maintenance. So I want you guys to keep that in mind as you are reaching out to people, and even if they don't necessarily need the product, somebody in their life probably really could use it, and be able to help them like I have with Jonathan and Brandy and the entire Lewis family. There's ways that we're going to touch people in ways that are so heart-wrenching and give you goosebumps and make you cry. That's what this is about. And like Jonathan mentioned, if you focus on the health side of this, the wealth is going to come 10 times full, and I promise you that.
And Billy, something I want to add is that people have asked me about testimonies. Where can they see testimonies? Of course, as a company, we have to be very careful that we don't publish them. But you can publish your own. You can publish your own stories. And the first 2 months I was taking the product, I was so giddy about all these testimonies I was hearing on a daily basis that now I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, that's kind of a given. We have hundreds at this point, and I've stopped kind of broadcasting them because they just seem so obvious. But we will continue to share. Billy, let's move on. It's about 10 minutes till 9, so let's ask anybody to open this up for any additional testimonies or if they have any questions about anything.
All right, guys, don't be shy now. Just unmute your mic if you want to talk and share your story, or you can reach right out in the chat bar.
Billy.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to get my people in, but they all come back to the cost of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this point, to start them, I'm giving them my cost of it just to get them into it to try it. And I suggest samples to them to try first.
Yes, and that's a great question, Melody. So obviously with this, the biggest thing is that we have to build belief in the products, belief in themselves as they become ambassadors. But the main thing is that we want them to feel the reaction. So I feel that it's our job as ambassadors when we reach out to people to go through our notebooks and figure out what it's going to take for them to feel the product's working. At that point, if someone's bound and determined that this is something that could change their life for the better, they're going to figure out how to be able to afford these products. Obviously, becoming an ambassador is going to save them 25% on these products. And you can teach them the easy ways for them to set goals to make sure that they can cover their monthly costs. It's pretty achievable to be able to make $150 a week of residual weekly income. At that point, you're doubling what you're paying in it.
I agree. And I've sent samples to my people, and this has gotten them now on the bandwagon. So, I've out of my pocket just sent them samples. And I think that's kind of what you have to do.
Yes, that is. I mean, there's people that are going to believe in you and no matter what and give something a shot. And there's other people that are going to be a little more on the skeptical side and look at it as an expense. I've sent out plenty of samples to get the product in people's hands and for them to try it. That has turned around, and I'm working on building some pretty sweet testimonials right now that I'd love to share here in a few weeks once I get everything organized. But I have spent quite a bit of money out of my own pocket doing that because for me, I look at it, I'm not just going to send products to everybody. I don't think that's the right approach. This is something that is an amazing product that I do think that people need to pay to enjoy. However, there's going to be people in your life that you want to really use to help benefit your business on a testimonial side of it. That's maybe worth sending them a sample or two just to let them try it and share with the people around them. It's all about building and networking. So that's kind of my feeling on that. I know Jeff's got a different pitch towards samples and all that. Again, everybody's a little bit different, and I just encourage everybody to find your you and what you believe in. Use us and take a little bit of what I say and Jeff says and everybody's approach to it and build your own. Be unique.
Oh, I do.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Is there anybody else that has something they want to add?
Hey, Billy.
Yeah.
One thing I like to put in, like I have automotive business. Y'all have a vape business as well. We spend a certain amount of money every month or week for advertising. And I really look at it that way is the samples as a point of advertising. That's the way to get it out there, whether it be Facebook, like your friends or whatever. But I think that really is a sample is really the gateway. That's what you need to do. You need to get somebody a free sample out of your and continue to give them to them until they get a reaction enough to buy the stuff. So that's something I want to say that.
Yeah, I'm on board with that side of it because I feel like if you give them something to believe in it, you give them a little bit of something and they feel it, they're going to come back and they're going to come back wanting to know where to get it, how to get it, and how they can sign other people up because it's something that just changed their life. That's the reaction that I'm getting from the products. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you that there hasn't been people that have been like, no way, and ran for the hills. Don't ever chase them because they're going to figure out how to come back to you. Everybody's watching at all times. That's all I can say on that side of it. Let me see here. I'm going to look at some of these. Jeff, are you still there, buddy?
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, I just saw Sarah's question. Sarah, who's a friend of mine, has a question about samples for the pet line. I think there may be some different thoughts about sampling, but it really boils down to it's a marketing strategy, and the marketing strategy of this, the marketing strategy of the network marketing isn't to just go out and flood the market with samples. Like Billy said, I have different thoughts about samples. You know, getting a salmon spread on a cracker at Costco, which costs, 4 cents, is a little different than giving out samples of this. If we literally marketed this, guys, just so you know, by giving out samples to flood the market, we would go out of business. And again, that has to do with the network marketing strategy of what we're doing with the multi-level marketing here. It's the same as if you own a Subway franchise. If you want to give out free cold cuts, you can do that. But I'm pretty sure that the Subway, the corporate, isn't the one that's footing that, if that makes sense. So I wish I had a better question for you. Like I said, I have a different approach to samples. I think sometimes if people are very serious, believe me, I've given out plenty of samples, don't get me wrong. But I also think that two things, for somebody to show an investment in this, you need to gauge their seriousness. I've had people that literally took a sample from me and had no intention of even trying it, but they didn't want to hurt my feelings. I'm like, well, you're going to hurt my feelings if you take $15 from me and then not try it. I also think that part of this is the systematic pattern of behavior over 30 and 60 days. And there are a lot of people that are dealing with things that might not be addressed with a 4-day sample. And that's my fear sometimes with sampling. If there are things, and I know there's a tremendous amount of people that don't sleep well, and sleeping is the thing that it did immediately for me. But if somebody doesn't really have a whole lot of problems with sleeping, and they have a more chronic issue, a sample's not going to do it. And I'm always fearful of giving somebody a sample and then having them say, well, I tried it and it didn't do anything, and so I'm not interested. What I'm trying to convince people to do is go ahead, make the commitment. Try a 30-day sample and not a 4-day sample. Sarah, I wish I had a better answer to your question, other than the fact that and also with Melody, this is not an inexpensive product to produce. It is quite expensive, and I want to say that there are products on the market that don't have 10% of our integrity as far as a product goes. That costs just as much. So it's all about value. So the value that they're getting, the full spectrum extract with our process behind it and all the science behind it, it's actually a steal. It's quite possible that some people can't afford this. So are there ways that we can help them find a way to make this work? Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't.
Hey, Billy, this is Nancy. I have a question real quick.
Hey, how are you?
Your aunt or uncle that had Parkinson's, was it tinctures or capsules? And I have a friend that has a form of it, but she's tried other kinds of CBD, so she's real leery of trying it. So would a 10-day capsules sample, do you see a difference that soon, or what would you suggest?
Yes, and it's something, my aunt's Parkinson's is pretty severe. She was shaking like a leaf before we really got it under control, and obviously she still has shaking. Can I tell you that she's completely cured? Yeah, I can't tell you that she's completely cured, but I will tell you that she has definitely seen an improvement. So she is taking the capsules at night and a tincture morning and at lunchtime. The biggest thing that I've learned, and I'm no doctor, okay? But I was sitting here thinking, and I'm like, you know what? Parkinson's is a neurological ailment that we're dealing with. And I've seen just based off testimonials, and this is why I preach this so much. I've literally sat in meetings and asked, is anybody feeling any pain, and seen people with headaches raise their hand, tell me, I've had a headache all day. They pick a relief cream, rub it on their temples, across the forehead, back of the ears, and across the back of their neck, and it'll push the headache away. So I was like, I want to try this. My aunt now has went to doing the capsule at night, a tincture in the morning, and rubbing relief cream on those 4 spots 3 times a day. And she said that she's seen a ton of improvement by doing that. Sounds crazy.
Well,
I can't
well, I guess
explain it,
I don't think that I don't think I can get her to buy without like giving her samples because of the past experiences she's had. So
yes.
I wanted to, I guess there's really no answer then, is there? Like
there is. We
10
have
days
a
worth of
7-day.
pills?
Well, there's
I
a
don't know.
7-day capsule. You can do a 7-day capsule in an oil. Is it somebody that's local to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So in that case, what I would do is I would take my personal products and share a little bit with them. For example, I would take a 30-day capsule and give them 6 pills worth of it. Break that down that way, and stuff that you can share with people without sending a complete sample to them. Take some of your tincture if you have some, and just
Right.
give them enough for 6 days. I believe there's different people, and everybody's a little bit different. Some people like me, for example, I can feel the products in 10 minutes versus there could be people that take up to 7 days to really get it in their blood system and start seeing improvements. So everybody's a little
Okay.
bit different. I can't exactly diagnose of take this day and you're going to see improvements tomorrow. I do believe
Okay.
it'll work for everybody. It's just finding that. This is something I've been working on for about 3, almost 4 months now with her, and trying to figure out exactly what her body's wanting. So I've had her on just capsules, just tinctures. Now I have her on both, and just threw in the relief cream and threw a curveball. I can't explain it.
Oh, and my last comment is I think I have found it's really odd, but the guys that try the product feel it almost instantly. The girls that try it do not. I don't know. It's just odd in my experience so far. But that's all. Okay, I'm off.
Well, that's
Somebody else can
wild.
talk.
Thanks,
know.
Nancy.
All right, bye.
Jeff, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, that's it. Just again, be good to yourselves, challenge yourselves, and reach out, and we'll continue to do what we can to help find, different ways to, to help build this for you.
Yeah. All right, and we need to do the giveaways real quick.
Yeah, let's do that, shall we?
Yeah.
Let me get the drawing. Again, was held by Price Waterhouse in a remote location, top secret, I might add. And the winners, if they are still with us, the winner of the T-shirt, Shirley Bailey.
All right. Let's see.
Shirley
if she's
still with
on
us?
there. Yes, she is.
Okay, cool. Shirley, you are the winner of the T-shirt tonight. And the winner of the license plate is Mary Coulter.
Mary, she's still on too. Congratulations, guys. I'll try to throw another T-shirt here soon too. I think that went over pretty well.
All right, sounds very good. Hey, everybody, I want to thank you for your time. Once again, we went an hour. It's never our intention, but we just get talking, and here it is, 9 o'clock. So again, reach out. Hope you all have a great week. Continue to explore different ways of starting these conversations with the others and with yourself about your goals and objectives and your expectations here. And we're here to help. So thanks, everybody.
All right. Have a good night, guys.